Hi, Armand here to talk about the Sagittarius full moon, which happens on the early hours of Friday the 13th, just after midnight, East Coast time, sometime in the morning, about 5 in the morning, Greenwich Mean Time, and, well, if it's 9:12 on Thursday evening on the Pacific Coast. Before we go any further, I want you to stop off at integralastrology.net and check out the monthly forecast and hunt around for great ideas in the article section and read the blog. And, if you want to get a consult, you could do that too. So just generally go by and stop by there. I also want to remind you that because of my little issue with YouTube, I cannot answer your questions and comments. I appreciate them, I read them, but if you want me to answer them, you have to go to the website and send me an email from there because YouTube won't let me do that. Won't talk any more about that because Mercury's retrograde. Anyway, this full moon in Sagittarius, Friday the 13th of 2014. Let's call it the Byron Katie full moon. We probably should always call the Sagittarius full moon the Byron Katie full moon. Because after all, those 4 questions that she says we should ask of thoughts, and we'll throw in beliefs because Sagittarius, are exactly what we should do at the Sagittarius full moon. We should ask questions like, is it true? Can we be really sure it's true? How do we react if that thing is true? And who would we be if it wasn't true? You're questioning the beliefs. You're bringing them to light. You're questioning the facts that the beliefs are founded on, and you're questioning the beliefs in light of the facts that you have. So the beliefs and the facts, the beliefs and, at least the data that you have, let's not call them facts like we're sure they're true, but the data that you have and the beliefs that you have, do they jive with each other? Do they make sense together? And how does that affect your life? And should we continue with those beliefs, or should we maybe think about, renovating them a little bit, trying for something a little bit different? Now, here's an interesting thing. 2 minutes before this opposition of the sun and the moon is exact, we have an opposition of Venus to Saturn. Now, Venus is at home in Taurus, where it's all about, feeling good. And Saturn is over there in Scorpio, where it's all about saying, who's paying the bill? And sort of, is this real? Is this worthwhile? In that Saturnian kind of maybe fun worthwhile, but is it worthwhile type of way? It's Saturn. We have to ask the question. We could think about other things, but we have to ask the question. Now, the Venus-Saturn opposition is going to do a couple of things to relationship. It can help to make things real if they haven't been real. If, just sort of like, it could sort of tip it over into the direction of something happening. For a relationship that's going well, we ask some serious questions about if this is a serious relationship that's working, and we can sort of move things to the next level. If the relationship isn't going well, we can say honestly and seriously, well, this isn't working, and maybe it's time to sort of go separate ways. So we're questioning our beliefs and assumptions at the full moon, and we are specifying the area of relationship, partnership. And it could be any type of partnership, too. It's not just romantic stuff and, your soulmate life partner thing. It could also very much be about business partnerships. It could be about group partnerships and so on. So we're questioning these things, and we're going to see, are we paying the bills? Or is this relationship paying the bills for what we need in our lives? That's kind of the theme of this particular full moon. So we're questioning beliefs about relationship. We're looking at what the facts are, what we have to look at as data, and saying, now, does this add up? Does it make sense? Or as David Letterman sometimes say, is it something or is it nothing? That's kind of what we're doing at this particular full moon. Now, that all sounds very reflective, doesn't it? It all sounds like we're just sort of thinking about where things are and how they feel and where they're going. But no, because it's a full moon. And these oppositions, they're about things that we work out with other people. So we're liable to be doing this questioning with others. We're liable to do this in a discussion with other people. It's not like, you're sitting down by yourself in your room sort of thinking about it, light a candle, and decide how you feel about your relationship or anything else in life. No, you're liable to be discussing it with people. You're liable to be talking about it. You're liable to be putting your cards on the table and saying, hey, this is what I think. And they come back at you with what they think about things. And so it's sort of a discussion thing. And it's a full moon, so it's active. We take action at the full moon. We take action sometimes based upon impulse. But often, I think we have enough going on with Saturn Venus to say, well, it may look a little impulsive, but to tell you the truth, I've been feeling this way for a long time. It may sort of blurt out in a Sagittarian, whoops, did I say that kind of way. But more or less, I'm thinking that it's something that, Saturn will make sure that if you say it and it's out there, whether it's taken well or taken poorly, or whether it leads to something bigger and better, or it leads to things blowing apart, more or less, it is something that has probably been brewing for a while either way. So it's an active time, and we're unlikely to just sort of sit back and watch what happens and watch how we feel. No, it's probably a time when you're going to say something or do something about it. We have to remember that this full moon is colored by the new moon back on May 28th, which was in square to Neptune. And because of the Neptune station and the Mercury retrograde and a bunch of other things, we're really under the spell of foggy, dreamy, somewhat delusional Neptune this month, from May 28th until the new moon in late June. And so, questioning those facts before you make the decision, before you leap, is a good idea. Romeo and Juliet, that type of thing, where the information comes in and it's tragic and we have to just act on it right away because, you act on things right away without checking the facts. Not such a good idea. Romeo should have really went to see that Juliet was dead before he decided to kill himself. And so, that type of thing. You're not going to be so melodramatic, I'm sure. But before do the facts jibe with the beliefs is one question. But do you actually have the real facts, all of the data that you need to make the decision is another. That's just something to be careful with all month. Neptune just turned retrograde, Mercury is retrograde, and so a big question is, are you looking at the real facts? So, the whole summary for this full moon is likely to be about relationship. In any area of life, including relationship, are our beliefs jibing with the facts? And do we have the right facts? Do we need to? Saturn opposite Venus at a full moon would be a fine time to ask somebody, what are the facts as far as you see? What is the data that you have? How do you feel about this? What do you think about this? Asking that question, not only of yourself, but asking of others what's going on, getting the information to help you make a decision, that's a good idea. So again, integralastrology.net, you can read all about it, you can do all sorts of things, but I can't answer your questions and comments here on YouTube. See you soon.